Hello and welcome to Negative Space Drawing. I wanted to provide for you just a bit more information than just the definition. Hopefully you have already looked that up and it should be written in your sketchbook. If it is not, make sure that you go back to that right now, find the definition on Google and write it down. All right, hopefully you've got that. What I want to talk to you right now about is negative space. And negative space is everything that you're drawing around the actual object. So for instance, right now, if you were drawing me, I am the positive space. You are positive that I'm here. I am the subject that you're drawing. Everything else around me, so all this air basically, is the negative space. This is supposed to be another tool for your toolbox of drawing to help you better see and observe the objects that you're drawing. When you run stuck and you're not sure how to draw something, your goal for negative space is to then draw the shapes that you see around the person or the object that you're drawing. For instance, right here, you can see that I have, generally speaking, a triangle shape that you could draw. You could turn this shape right here into a triangle. Okay, if I closed off that side. If I had a spot here, you can kind of see that it's a rectangle of sorts. Okay, so you can find the shapes in and around the objects that you're starting to draw. The other thing I want to talk to you about is the different types of line style. And I've got a few samples right here for you. And these are pretty fun. It's a way to fill the space than just coloring it in solid. Because what I don't want to see is outlines around the object. So often I see that someone's like, oh yeah, I saw a triangle. So they draw a triangle as the negative shape. However, that's not what I want you to do. I want you to start in a corner of a shape and fill that space as you go. So for example, okay, you've got different line styles. This one right here is called gestural, and I'm going to try and hold up the camera for you so that you can see a better idea. But a gestural line, if I were filling in a triangle, I'm going to fill that space in as I go for a triangle. So I'm just kind of doing some scribbly lines, but it's a controlled scribble that is filling the space. I could do a solid fill, so again, I start in the corner and I work my way out to be that triangle shape. I could do a cross hatching, so I'm actually just crossing a bunch of lines over to fill that triangle space. I could also do dots. This one gets pretty intense, but you're going to start at the top and you're going to work your way down to fill the space. If you're really struggling with drawing negative space without an outline, this is a great one to do because it's not a line, so you're not tempted to just draw a line for the outline. Okay. Another fun one is to do shapes. So you could start with like circles and fill the space as you go with shapes. And all these samples, guys, you can look back here to this video, but you can also look at my desk to see the samples. There it is. Okay, last shape, you can do a gradient fill, so where you start really dark or really light, and you work your way out so it's a lighter shade as you go. So I've got really dark up here, and I turn it to much lighter as I go out, okay? So what do I mean by all of this? Well, you guys are going to be doing for your assignment, you are going to be turning 2 of your best drawings. You're going to end up doing at least 10 to 15 sample ones in your sketchbooks. You can draw 5 on a page. They don't need to be big. About, this size paper is it, so about 3 by 3, so about 4 per page in your sketchbook. And you are going to pick objects that have holes in them. This information is on Moodle too in case you forget. Scissors are a great example and a great starter. You've got a shape here, you've got a shape here, a shape here, 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 and even underneath. You could overlap and do a couple pairs of scissors. You can take a necklace off and lay it down and position it in such a way that it makes an interesting shape. You can take a bunch of colored pencils and layer them to create different shapes. Okay? And what you're doing is then you're going to be drawing the negative space around those objects. So if I were to take my pair of scissors, okay, I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to try and have you guys see this, okay, as I do it. I've got my scissors right here, and I am going to draw the shapes that I see around it. So for instance, right here, I basically see a triangle, okay? So I'm going to start at the corner, and I'm going to work my way out. I'm going to try and do this pretty quick here. I'm looking at the object as I draw it, but notice I am not just drawing the outline of the shape, okay? I can directly go to the other side if I want it, or right here, because I have corners, notice, that line up. So I can line up this corner with my next one, and again, fill in the space as I go. This one's not as wide of a triangle, okay? And I'm doing this pretty quick. Remember, I have done this a lot. This triangle point is right across from this triangle point, so I can use that as a guide and fill in my next space. I've got an oval right here, okay? So I can start at kind of the point and work my way out again to create that oval shape. Again, I have a triangle across from that. So I'm right here. Oops, filling that space as I go. Lastly, I have a circle on my scissors that it starts much higher than the other, and I'm going to again fill that space as I go. So is this perfect? Okay, no, it's not perfect, but does it generally give you the shape of the object that you're trying to draw? Yes, and that's the point of this. When you're stuck and you don't know what to do, fall back on drawing shapes. I know you know how to do shapes, triangles, circles, squares, so break down the negative space or the air around the objects into space so that you can actually start to fill that in. The ones that you turn in, okay, you have to turn in 2. Remember, your 2 best ones. You might make 10, 15 of those. You're gonna be working on it all day today and part of tomorrow. You have to use at least 2 different line styles in the ones that you've turned in. You can use 2 in one drawing. You can do 1 in one and 1 in another. But I've got a couple different samples here. Here's another pair of scissors. Okay, that was gestural. I have a paper clip. So I could turn in this paper clip, which is solid fill, and I could turn in this scissors, which is gestural, because I have 2 different line styles, 2 different objects. I'm happy with the results. There's no outlining. I could turn these in as my 2 best ones. Okay, so we're filling in the space. We are not outlining. 2 different line styles. Try mixing up your objects. Try a stool. Try layering colored pencils, layering scissors to create those shapes around it, okay? After we do these for the next couple days, you really want to make sure you do lots of practice because we are going to be doing a still life of stools, okay, as your negative space. So it is going to end up something like this. So you definitely want to make sure you practice because you want to make sure you know what you're doing. Feel free to watch this video again. Reference Moodle and the numbers that I have listed there for you for what step that you are on next. Have fun and feel free to ask me if you've got questions. Thank you.